Hello and welcome to the Northern Premier League goal show for Saturday 18th of January 2020. We start with the top of the table clash as leaders South Shields visited second place Lancaster City. Three points separated these two sides before the kick-off, and it was the visitors who took the lead. Jason Gilchrist breaking the offside trap, rounding the keeper and finishing from a narrow angle. They had a couple more chances to double their lead in the first half. A quick break here ending in a shot being dragged wide by Robert Briggs. And then Nathan Lowe had a chance when things opened up from on the edge of the box. That one well saved by the keeper's legs. But Lancaster were given a lifeline when they were awarded a penalty, a foul by Gary Brown on Lewis Fensom. So the referee pointed to the spot and Rob Wilson stepped up to convert on 34 minutes for 1-1. But Shields would grab the win. Gilchrist with his second goal coming in the second half, 20 minutes from time. And that stretches South Shields' lead at the top of the table. Joint manager Lee Picton, a very happy man after the game.
Yeah, I know, obviously every game, you only win 3 points every game, but of course when you play the teams in around you, then it has extra gravity, and I think that is what you class as a big 3 points. Yeah.
Two sides that have been in and around the playoffs for most of the season met at Bowerfold. Stalybridge Celtic welcomed Baseford United, and Stalybridge got off to the better start. Jonathan Ustabasi scoring 7 minutes before half-time to give them the lead, and Darius Osai would make that 2 right on the stroke of half-time, either side of that chance from a free kick for Baseford. That put Stalybridge 2-0 up, and they were looking good for the 3 points, but they were stunned by a fine Baseford comeback in the second half. Kane Richards got Baseford on the board on the hour mark, nodding home here at the back post. And he would pop up again 6 minutes later to level the scores at 2-2. Slotted in this time and finishing clearly from a good angle. And they made it 3 goals in 10 minutes when this cross from the right was diverted beyond his own goalkeeper by the unfortunate Stephen O'Halloran. Stalybridge squandered a 2-0 lead to be beaten 3-2 at home, and that keeps Baseford well and truly in the mix for the playoff places. They could even get away with missing a penalty too. Wojciech brought down Richards. Reed stepped up and was denied. Maybe Richards should perhaps have gone for a hat-trick goal.
Yes, we were better in the second half in front of goal. For the first half we were very good for 35 minutes. Had 2 or 3 really good opportunities to score. I think they've scored with the first and second attempt in the last 10 minutes, which was a bit mad. I'd said my piece at half time, said you gave yourself an awful lot to do, what are you going to go and do about it? And they answered everything. We had to change something. We got camped in a bit for the first 15 minutes of the second half. We had to get somebody in support of Ash and put Kane up there, and he's gave us 2 goals, and we had to win the game with Jack's deflected effort. So in the end it was bizarre, but I'll take the 3 points, thank you very much.
FC United look like being a credible challenger to South Shields for the top spot, and they pulled off another victory, this time away at Whitby Town, who could have led early on through Paul Blackett. Their day though went sour when Kieran Raleji was shown a straight red card for this last man foul on Tunde Owolabi. And FC United made the extra man pay at the start of the second half when Alex Curran gave them the lead. But Whitby hit back when Paul Blackett, who's on loan from Gateshead, he was unbeaten and had scored in every game he's played for Whitby before this one. He won a penalty and would then step up and convert himself to make it 5 goals in 5 appearances for the Seasiders and level things up at 1 apiece. But FC United would go on to win their seventh consecutive game in the league when Kyle Hawley came off the bench on his debut to score the winner 4 minutes from time and move them within 1 point of Lancaster and Basford in the top three. A blistering first half for Nantwich Town saw them past Hyde United with ease. Ethan Varian had a dream start to life as a dabber. He scored this header 15 seconds into his debut at the Weaver Stadium. And it was all one-way traffic from there. Troy Bourne made it 2-0 on 23 minutes before Varian got his second shortly after the half-hour mark. Hyde's miserable afternoon got even worse before half-time. David Webb with Nantwich's fourth. They managed to keep it scoreless in the second half, but a sound win for Nantwich at home. Struggling Ashton United were the visitors to Morpeth Town. Morpeth took an early lead. 4 minutes in, Jeff Henderson, the goal scorer from this free kick move. And here's a contender for goal of the weekend, Sam Sheridan, the scorer for Ashton, drilling one past the goalkeeper from 25 yards out. That got Ashton on level terms. Morpeth, though, had a chance to retake the lead when Fall was felled by Michael Brewster, but Greg Hartley saved the resulting penalty, and that spurred Ashton into life. And in the second half, they took control of the game. Ben Hardcastle heading his first goal for the club since joining from Atherton Coles. When Liam Noble fouled Thompson, Josh Wilson stepped up to convert the penalty. And Ashton registered a second successive league win. Louis Almond with the goal to round off that 4-1 victory at Morpeth. Former Scarborough manager Steve Kittrick took his Matlock Town side to the seaside to face the Sea Dogs, and it wasn't a happy return. Scarborough took the lead in the first half through Josh Barrett, and that was doubled by James Walshaw on the half-hour mark. Nathan Valentine did pull a goal back for Matlock in the second half, but they continued to tumble down the table on a disappointing run of form. Scarborough continued to go the other way. Grantham's wait for a win away from home continues. That's despite them taking the lead at Mickleover Sport through Craig Westgar, the goalkeeper, fumbling the ball around the penalty spot and Westgar making him pay. But Cavell Tuaro equalised before half-time, and Mickleover didn't look back in the second half. Andrew Wright scored against his former club, picked that one out. And then Ryan Nesbitt and Stuart Beavan scored 2 goals in 3 minutes to seal the victory for Sports. We've won 4 of their last 5 games. Bamber Bridge entertained Buxton in Lancashire, and it was an early start for Brig. They took the lead on 5 minutes through Richie Allen, but Nico Di Girolamo headed home an equaliser right on the stroke of half-time. But Bamber Bridge would pinch the 3 points late on. Sheldon Green scoring 8 minutes from time to seal them a 2-1 win. Ratcliffe parted company with manager John Macken the day before this one, and it turned to be a miserable week for the Borough. They were beaten 2-0 by a resurgent Gainsborough side. The damage done in the first 10 minutes, Greg Smith scoring both goals inside the first 10 minutes. The second one coming after a free kick, an indirect free kick for a pass back. Gainsborough move away from the relegation zone. Whitton Albion welcomed Atherton Colliery's. And it was Atherton who took the lead. Lewin Myers with this lovely little flick with his left foot to give Coles the lead. But Whitton turned it around, 2 goals either side of half-time, securing them the 3 points. The first, Danny Mitchley converting from a tight angle, and then Will Jones right at the start of the second half scoring what would turn out to be the winning goal with that header at the back post. Elsewhere, Warrington Town scored in the 93rd minute to rescue a point at bottom club Stafford. Stafford had come from a goal down with 2 goals in 2 minutes in that one. That leaves the table not a great deal of change in that top 5. South Shields top, but now 6 points clear with 3 games in hand on Lancaster. Baseford, FC United and Warrington Town all maintaining their playoff spots, although the Yellows are looking over their shoulder at Nantwich, who are just 2 points behind. At the bottom, Stafford are now 9 points, maybe even 11 points from safety, depending on how things go with the points per game at the end of the season. Ashton United are still in the bottom 2. Buxton are the team in that 3rd place in the relegation zone, which of course will be decided by points per game at the end of the season. In the BetVictor Northern Premier South East Division, high-flying Cleethorpes squandered a 2-0 lead to go down 3-2 at home to Newcastle Town. Frickley Athletic were 1-0 winners at home to Stamford. Jonathan Margits with another goal there. Ilkeston and Sheffield battled out a 1-1 draw. Sheldon Jordan scoring his first goal for Sheffield. Kidsgrove needed a late equaliser from Anthony Malbon to hold Belper Town to a 2-2 draw. Leaders Leek Town pull clear. They were 2-0 winners at Spalding United. Tim Grice scoring yet another goal. Stocksbridge Park Steels beat Wisbech Town 3-1. 2 early goals between Sutton Coldfield Town and Glossop North End went for a 1-1 draw, and Worksop Town were 3-1 winners over Market Drayton Town. How that leaves the table, Leek are starting now to pull clear. They're 5 points ahead of Stamford with a game in hand. Cleethorpes lost ground by throwing away that 2-goal lead. Belper have got games in hand and could get themselves into the mix there too. At the bottom, Wisbech still 2 points adrift of Market Drayton Town. Chase Town have games in hand and should get out of there too. In the North West Division, Brighouse Town turned around a 1-0 half-time deficit against Ramsbottom United, but still went down 3-2. Connor Gall scored 2 goals in as many minutes as Clitheroe came from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 at home to Pickering Town. Highfly Marine were beaten 2-0 at Mosley. Ossett United beat Widnes 4-2 with all 6 of those goals coming in the second half. Pontefract Collieries were 3-0 winners over Dunstan. There was a goalless draw between Prescott and Trafford. Kendal Town were 2-1 winners at Tadcaster Albion, and leaders Workington beat Marske United 2-0. The results of the weekend therefore mean that Workington still have a point advantage at the top over Ramsbottom, who are up to second. Marine third, Pontefract Collieries and Tadcaster round off the playoffs. Pontefract got plenty of games in hand there to catch up as well. At the bottom, Pickering would have loved to have held on for a win at Clitheroe. As it was, they had to settle for a point, and that leaves them 4 points adrift of 3 teams at the bottom now: Cole, Widnes and Kendal Town in the battle to avoid the drop. There's a handful of games this week to keep your eye out for. There's plenty of County Cup action, but in the Premier Division on Tuesday, Ratcliffe will welcome Ashton United. Ratcliffe still managerless, with Carl Margiston taking temporary charge there. In the South East Division, Glossop North End host Worksop Town, and Loughborough Dynamo welcome Stocksbridge Park Steels. In the North West Division, Dunstan host second place Ramsbottom, who could go top. Marske United host Kendal Town. Pontefract Collieries welcome Clitheroe, and Colne travel to Prescott Cables. There's an Integral League Cup second round game too. FC United hosting Sheffield. The winner of that tie will play Trafford in the next round of that competition. And a full league programme returns on Saturday too. Please do keep your eye on BetVictorNorthernPremier.co.uk for all the latest. Thanks as always for tuning in. We'll see you next week. That's full time for now.